Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this meeting to order. We're a couple minutes late. We'll start with our pledge and then a prayer. Commissioner Patton, please. They've moved them. They're back. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our gracious Father in heaven, we approach thy throne this evening in the most humble manner we know how, thanking you for this day and the blessings we receive. We ask your blessings upon us tonight as we enter into this meeting, that we will have knowledge and take that knowledge and have the wisdom how to use that knowledge to the betterment of our community and for the betterment of our citizens. Be with tonight, not just tonight, but always. Guard us from the evil one. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Welcome everybody out tonight. First item is approval of regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Next item is the bills.
Move to pay all bills.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. No old business. Under new business, first item is personnel.
Yes, we have a letter of resignation from Cody Burden. He'll be resigning June 27th. He would like to accept his resignation.
Make a
What date's
motion.
on it?
June
June
27th.
27th.
Please do it ahead of time, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion that we accept the resignation of Cody Burden effective June 27th of 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any- Those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. The motion passes. Next item is the budget.
Do we need to advertise for a replacement?
We're gonna do that yet.
Do we need to advertise?
Yeah, it'd be a good idea.
Okay, I thought maybe you were aiming to wait a little while since,
Well-
but that's fine.
We could go ahead and start advertising if,
Yeah, I moved to advertise for a position of, what was this position?
his position was a wastewater laborer, but probably,
Whatever that position
we'll
is.
probably just advertise for anything in general and see where we go
For
from
a
there.
labor position,
Just a labor position.
and whatever salary is supposed to be with him.
Okay.
And I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. That motion passes. Now we'll go to the budget. Everybody's got their notebook in front of them.
Yes,
Well,
fancy.
it really is the first reading, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give the time to review it, so I would like to move to approve the first reading of the budget for tonight. We'll give the next, for the next one to review it and make amendments.
Second.
I'm sorry.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. The motion passes.
This is very nice, Travis.
Thank you.
You trying to show
Does
somebody,
anybody want to talk about it?
Is there anything y'all want me to go through with you specifically?
no, I just haven't had a chance to look at it, so I don't know what to ask.
Okay.
You want to tell us about any big changes?
We moved a little bit of the payroll around to, I think, better suit us as a whole, help in some areas.
Just
you
the
know,
departments it comes
Just
out of?
departments that it comes out of. For police, I did have us purchasing a new police vehicle. Actually two, one would come out of police and the other would come out of economic development, because there's plenty of money in there for police vehicles, we can use that for that. I have some, I have a,
Okay. Well, I knew that, but I knew we were shooting for at least getting one every year, and it's.
I have some money budgeted
I
for,
want to ask questions about that.
okay.
It won't be a car, will it?
No,
Okay,
no, it won't be a car.
okay. I'm just want to put my 2 cents worth in.
Yeah.
He wants a dually pickup.
I want one of them Corvettes that Georgia State Police have got now.
Gracious.
I just don't want to charge them.
Yeah, we're staying away from them. Under fire, I have some money in their budget for a new brush truck. Me and David's done some looking and figuring, and we think we can buy a truck and kind of take the steps to get it where we need it to be by ourselves, cut out the middleman and save a lot of money.
that the passenger vehicles and other?
Yes, under fire. And that's not just the truck, that's including, you know, getting the paint
Well-
matched and lights and everything. There's nothing,
Well, where's the, you had the new truck somewhere else?
That's what I'm fixing to ask.
what their truck,
Fire
Yeah,
truck?
a new fire truck.
it'll be here before.
Oh, it'll be before June
Yeah.
30th? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought,
Okay.
okay, I thought it was later. You've been working.
I knew it was
haven't
supposed
you?
to be, but hadn't heard lately.
Are you going tab by tab?
Yes.
Okay.
There's nothing very different in parks other than we're having a full-time employee come out of park wages now. So before that was our part-time workers, we're gonna have one full-time worker.
Is that person going to sort of oversee
They'll be,
parks?
well, not necessarily oversee, but they'll be the ones doing the gist of the mowing and weed eating and,
Making sure
Making sure
everything's
everything's
picked
picked
up
up.
and looking nice and neat and all that good stuff?
yep,
We always have done that, it's just not on some certain people's time frame.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's good to have one designated person.
You know, it's like, I know the garbage that some people like to make such a big deal about, you know, after he got out of church, he went and picked it up, but they were angry because it wasn't done by 7 a.m.
Exactly.
They didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So the economic assistance, you can see the money I have coming out of that budget for the passenger vehicle, the big police. The cemetery, nothing's really different on the income side of it, it's pretty much the same. On our expense side, I do have $5,000 budgeted. I've showed Kevin some new signs that we're wanting to get made. I think I've showed you too, Paul, for the sections. The 33,000 I have budgeted, that's for the mowing. You want an order?
Do you have anything in there for any kind of landscaping?
I don't, but I can,
Because I know that was something that we
We
talked about it.
last year, yeah.
Well, I think we talked about it for several years, and it seems like by the time we get around to it, it's October.
I can add something if we'd like to.
I would like to see some, like, look for it to look
It's like at the
nice.
entrances as well.
Yeah.
And
Just make it a little
it could be
more
hard
aesthetically
scape too. It could be
pleasing.
fencing or something, just,
Okay. Community pride, it's pretty much the same as it is every year. It's
Do
not
our
much-
flags and things come out of community pride? Because
Usually.
I feel like we probably could use some more different new flags.
That usually comes out of just our general expense.
Okay. Does Shelby, you, whoever, just
Elisa
kind of talk about it?
orders
Okay. I just feel like they could use some maybe some changes.
Sanitation fund, if you notice, we have one full-time sanitation employee and we have two that their hours are split up in between sanitation and another department because they're not on the sanitation truck 5 days a week, so we try to split that up. If you notice, we are budgeting to lose $29,000 in sanitation this year. So, I don't know if y'all wanna talk about raising rates, if you wanna see if we can move some other stuff around to try to make that.
What could we move?
Nothing.
you know, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I hit him with.
And, you know, it's not that we have to make a lot of money on that, but we definitely can't lose. And, you know, every 10 to 15 years, we're looking at a new garbage truck that's $250,000. And that's hard to do when you're going backwards
Yeah, because this budget doesn't have anything in it kind of for
for a new truck now.
a surplus to put up. Right now, what's the sanitation fee?
In-town rates are 12, out-of-town's 14, and businesses are 22.50.
And I think, did we do some checking, the going rate is almost like 16, 17?
I've checked with a few other places, and we're by far, well, not by far, but we were cheaper than just about everybody around us.
Which, like I said, we're not doing it to necessarily make a profit, but
Need to break even.
we don't want to lose money on it.
So if that's
Have you
something,
calculated what would help us to just break even?
I've ran it a few different times, and the hard part is it's kind of hard to break down exactly how many of each style customer we have. United Systems ain't doing the greatest job helping us get that information out. So I think a good starting point would be looking at, for the in-town rates to be $14 to $15 per customer. Maybe leave the additional 6 bags at the $6, raise the out-of-town equivalently, and businesses the same, which we don't have, but a few businesses that we pick their garbage up anyhow.
So the additional 6 bags, so if people have more than 6 bags?
They can buy 6 extra.
Okay, good. Yeah. that's what
How many
I-
customers do you
make sure.
have registered that take more than 6?
How many do we have that take more than 6?
I mean, several, what they,
I would say 50,
okay.
Really?
I didn't know it'd be that high.
probably 50.
That's fine, that's close enough.
Wayne has a list he keeps up with in the truck, so I could check with him too. But that's something we might need to look at doing just maybe before the second reading.
I noticed, and forgive me if this is not the proper time to ask this, but on page 3,
Have sanitation
yeah, last year on the income,
on the expense side.
no, on the,
Page 3 will be expense.
yeah, but under income, annual budget estimate income, why is there such a big difference in last year and the coming year?
You got me.
Under sanitation?
That's this,
Yeah, Fund 300,
Which page are you on?
3, but which
page 3,
which line are you looking at, Sandy?
sanitation income, the bottom line.
I don't think that's headed right. Yeah, they all say, all the pages say estimate income, it should say expense.
yeah. Well, it says estimate income, and I don't know why it says that, but that's the expense side.
Okay.
So our expenses, we've cut
Okay,
expenses on
that,
that.
'cause that's where I
Yeah.
was seeing like 29,000, but when I was reading income, I was like, why are we bringing in 29,000 less?
Yes.
Do all of us, all of us,
So,
yeah.
which is income and which is
Page 1 is income, and page 2 and 3 are expense.
expense? Okay.
And then you look under road fund, we caught you, Travis.
How's that?
Under road fund, page 1 says estimate expense. Got him.
You did get it. Okay, so page 1 is the income.
Been here
on
since
that.
August and we finally got it.
You finally got me.
Proofreading is my second nature. Uh-oh, so you, see,
He
pushing the
he was
blame
good,
on
he didn't throw
you?
Jill under the bus.
He just nonchalantly did.
I wasn't gonna do it for y'all. It's not Jill's fault either, it's
Oh,
ours.
it's just one, I mean, it's.
Those things happen.
Well, it's,
Or just give you our.
we've had that same budget since, who knows when. So, road fund. We're budgeted to transfer 229,000 from general. I've got a list of a few streets, we've got some alleyways that we're wanting to work on.
That's
so
for that, some of that.
That's for that, some of that. No, that's not for the ARPA's in general fund. Because Amy said that we have to spend it out of the fund that it's given to, it's gotta come out of general.
Well, okay, I figured you could transfer it, okay.
I asked her about that, she told me not to.
Well, that's fine, man.
So should page 1 of each of these be
The first page
income?
should be income.
Should all
yes.
be income,
Yeah.
okay.
The first couple pages on some of them. So there's nothing really different on the street department. Expense side. Water fund. You know, the income's pretty much this, now it shows a much greater income than last year, but if y'all remember, we made a budget amendment after we raised rates. It doesn't show that on last year's line item. So it's gonna be pretty much the same as what we expected last year. On the expense side, we put a little bit of money on water, wastewater in general for possible renovations that we've had some talks of. Nothing other too crazy on that. Then if you go to wastewater,
So. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
if you go to wastewater, our income is the first page there. We're pretty much expecting the same as last year. I think I might have budgeted a little bit less because our income came a little under what we expected. And if you go to the expense, none of the Kegel's lift station has been paid for out of this budget other than some fees here and there. So all that expense will show up in our expense side of wastewater. The material, the lift station.
And then we'll have to make the budget amendment when we get those funds back in from the state.
Well, I think I've got it all budgeted. I don't think we'll have to make the amendment.
It's budgeted in here?
Yes, in the expense side.
I know,
it's-
but the revenue side.
Yes, it's on the grant income. Miscellaneous income grant.
Wastewater looks like we're in the hole.
The
Preview.
main thing that we're gonna be looking at on that's the grant.
Do what?
And the main reason that it's showing that is because the grant's not gonna cover all of the lift station. And I've got some money set aside in there for some renovation work. And it's not so much that we're in the hole, we're just using some of that money to go to other things.
So, well, y'all have an opportunity to look over it. Any questions? James, you have anything?
Did you all vote on the budget?
Yes.
The first reading.
The first reading.
I just, it's been so long.
Well, that one went ahead after it was done talking, so.
That's fine.
James, you have anything?
No, not at this point, everything's looking pretty good, as in the, with stuff that we can't help.
Sandy?
I think all the streetlights have been installed.
I believe so. I know they did the one by Buddy.
Yeah, yeah, it's in
Shrewsbury's.
the text. And then we'll talk streets.
Yes.
When do you think, July-ish, or?
I
You
talked to
just,
Paul a little bit. We was kind of waiting to see about after the Strawberry Fest.
right, right,
Oh,
yeah.
and maybe try to get a bunch done at that
Yeah,
time.
when I talked to Paul about that too, yes, that makes perfect sense, perfect sense.
Do you know if they did the light on Meadow Lawn Drive? I haven't checked in the last couple of weeks, haven't had a chance to look.
I don't know. I know that they was in town doing a bunch of them last week, so,
Okay, I didn't check if it wasn't dark enough.
I'll
I can
check.
drive up there after dark. So
okay.
I'll let you know. I'll drive up there.
Yeah,
And
let
I-
me know.
I have had a couple of people request one, and I just don't know if it is necessary. It is very, very dark there, but at the intersection of Fifth and Madison, it is an intersection in a curve. And I have had a few people request a street light there. Mm-hmm. You know where the Browns
That
live?
little bit of stretch of Fifth, there is a little bit of Fifth on the west side in there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had a few people ask about that. I know a bright light might be more annoying.
Is that the one in front of Doc Stevens' old house?
No,
Damn one, then.
Yeah,
I forgot which street. I had to think about it.
Fifth Street's down by Marcus.
down, yeah, where Marcus.
Cone.
It-
I thought you said 10th Street.
No,
not
Fifth, Fifth, yeah. It goes into the curve there
The
where
one
Marcus
that's
used to
happening
live.
South and all. Those-
And that might be
Where's it
something
at?
that I might talk,
Go ahead.
yeah, to a few more of the neighbors, because I'd hate for it to be a nuisance, although some people have commented on how terribly dark it is right there, and it is
Okay.
dark.
And
And
I don't know if that's the cities or mine.
another place, Travis, I'd like to look is
Corner
up on
119.
Main Street at
Okay.
the shopping center going into Vales.
By School Street there. By,
No, into the entrance, if there's a,
where at again?
going into that shopping center there by closest, the entrance closest to Hardee's.
Oh, I thought you were talking
And-
about down here at Midtown.
There may be a light, I don't remember if there's a light there and it wasn't working, but that entrance is dark.
The
Going
entrance
into the
closest to
other
Hardee's into the old
Yeah,
Walmart.
where Walmart used to
Is that Hardee's?
be, just on the other side of it.
Into the shopping center
Yeah,
itself.
on that. Yeah, I noticed that at last time. I just didn't think about how that old light up there. thought
And I
they
think
were
there's a
out.
pole already there the intersection of Fifth and Madison on
Okay.
the east side. So,
Okay.
You have anything else?
no,
Charles?
A couple things. I think I know the answer to a couple of them. I was contacted by some parents, and they were concerned about traffic coming out of the elementary when parents pick up kids coming down Veller Drive, and they were asking about speed bumps, and I told them I really don't think insurance company will recommend those, so I may have to check with the insurance company because of undercarriages and rims. And then they wondered about signs, and I said, definitely probably wouldn't want to do that. Children at play, I said, we're not gonna encourage kids to play in the street. They didn't like that answer very well. But anyway, I don't think legally it happened. So you're gonna check on that though,
Yeah, I'll
right?
check with Ben Cook.
Okay, the other thing, answer people's question, the entrances to the ball fields, because there's been some elderly and disabled that, so they have to walk all the way around to that one entrance, because all the others are locked. They just wanted to question, why are some of the others not open during playing time?
Well, we've only got 2 entrances. The problem is if you open the other one up, is that's always been our emergency entrance. If we have to have an ambulance or something come in there.
Well, I'm not talking about parking in front of it, that's what the elderly walk in.
The reason, I can explain that when I was there when it happened. We had 2 instances down there. One was a toddler headed out to the playground and running down through there and nearly got hit. And one was an instance where there was a custodial issue between parents and a non-custodial parent was after the other kid.
Well, I got
If
an
parents
answer to
would
give
watch
them
their kids, we wouldn't have this problem.
then. I got an answer to give them then, I thought they walked with an answer
and
for
do they feel that there's not enough handicap parking spots there by the main entrance? Because that's what I
Well, that's the
always.
only one open down by the far side, around.
Right.
That's-
but
actually, that's the main entrance.
Yeah, but they,
entrance.
No one wants to park by it.
I guess that's another reason. They
I mean,
thought
why
they-
wouldn't you wanna park at the main entrance?
Well, see, they don't think that, the first one to come to, they think the main entrance probably.
Do we need a sign that says main entrance?
It's got a big sign that says Ray Chapman Baseball
So that's
Complex.
over the entrance.
I mean, one that points,
I mean,
Driving in, I don't know, I got something to tell them now, though.
but that's why that was locked, was because of safety issues.
Okay, well, I just tell them to drive on around and park by it, it's not any handicap back there, probably some of them realtor handicap signs down there you had for the concert.
We've got handicap
Yeah,
by the
there's
entrance.
several.
How many?
Probably
One
2.
time I was there, everyone taken.
Well, again, we have about 3 times the amount that's
There's 2
required
up
for
there
that
that's on
number
the
of
concrete
parking
I think
spaces.
we must have a lot of handicap.
That's
2 in the
part
middle
of the
there,
problem.
Mary Michelle Park, 2 on the backside, 2 in the,
Well, you got an answer for
there's
them.
probably 8.
we probably need more than that.
You may not like the answer,
But-
but that answer.
I mean, that may be the
Based on the number
ADA
of parking
compliance,
spaces in the
but,
lot, they told us how many we needed, and I think we got about 3 times that number.
Okay, well, I
Because
got
we
an
got
answer.
some over by the farmer's market too.
Right.
Yeah,
a
I
couple.
got the answer, they haven't liked it, but I
and
got the
even by
answer.
the farmer's market, if you're truly need a handicap accessible, that's not, if you're going to the main
No,
entrance
no, no,
of-
but we had to have one,
Right.
we thought we need to put one at the farmer's market.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
yeah, yeah. But if we could have more by the main entrance, it might alleviate some of those issues.
That's fine, but we do have more than required.
I know I've been places before, it's like, heck, fire, all there are is handicap parking places, where am I gonna park? But if I were in that situation, I would certainly be thankful for excessive amounts of handicap parking spots.
That's it.
Kevin?
We're winding up on the grant thing and we're getting trying to get all our ducks in a row. Was it due Thursday? Thursday. And we've got a couple estimates in, we got a couple more coming. We've added in some things just to make it look bigger because we want them to give us the biggest number they can give us, whatever it is. And it's looking good. I think we're gonna come out with quite a bit. I don't know exactly what it's all gonna end up being, but I think we're gonna get a pretty good grant out of this. I'd like to say we're gonna get the whole $1 million. I don't know that for certain, but we're gonna try.
Well, if you don't ask for it, you're not gonna.
Well, that's what
get it.
she said. The girl that I'm dealing with over to Owensboro, she's very emphatic. She thinks we could possibly get it. Because she said, ask for more than you want because they're liable to give it to you.
And I
So-
mean, that just benefit the community.
But
As
right
a
now, I'm
whole.
in the process of getting a quote on playground equipment that deals with specific autism, handicap, and spectrum
sensory.
perception things, and they're expensive, but you can get a whole system built just around that, and it's in one big piece. And it's really, compared to the others, it's about the same price. I mean, it's not
Yes.
that much more.
One thing just to think about, because we almost got into it, or the problem with it on the original equipment, your surface, is that included?
That was the other thing that they talked about, the crumb rubber, we talked about crumb
Yeah.
rubber and stuff like that. They talk about this other stuff that they're putting down now. I don't know what
Yeah,
it
it's-
is.
You probably can't use crumb rubber.
Yeah, it's like I want to call it like, it's like asphalt, but it's kind of like plastic. You
It's
just
a-
lay it out and it just floats.
It's-
and
They
just
have
sits
it
in
at
it.
parks in Louisville.
It's a foam.
several.
Yeah, and
Type.
they spread it in and it
And
just
you
stays,
can
and
roll
it's,
wheelchairs over it.
they say that'd be included in the price, so.
Okay, that's,
Yeah, it's,
because the other playground,
well, the
it wasn't included.
The whole thing, the two different quotes we've gotten so far in the playground will all have that included in it because they priced it separate, priced it together. So we know what it's gonna cost us either way. And, it's looking pretty good. And then, you know,
Kevin appreciates
yeah, I mean,
the hard work.
I put there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. I mean, it's not just one thing, it's like a bunch of stuff in there. Because I thought, she said, just think of stuff. You don't even have to use it. You just might put it in there just to say, well, we might do this.
But now, you have to be careful. If you put it in that grant, that you're gonna do that.
We listed the grant as park renovation. And she said, by doing it that way, we have a broad spectrum of what we can and can't do. We don't have to be specific as in, we're only going to do this one thing. Like we said, we're only going to build a playground. That's all we'd be allowed to build. As doing park renovations, we can do this thing or this thing, this thing. I think we got like 6 different things we could do down there if we wanted to. I mean, one of the things I even told her, we could even put a fountain in the pond. That was one of the things she talked about. She said, you could do that if you wanted to. And I said, you know, we talked about that once before, but we just thought it was a little too expensive and we couldn't get electricity over to it. I said, well, this might be one of your opportunities to get something done that way. And I said, well, I'll put it in there, you know, we'll try anything, so. So there's all kinds of different things listed, and some of them are far-fetched and out of this world, but some of them would help us out a bunch down there.
Well, as the mayor has said before, why not Beaver Dam?
Exactly. That's what she said. She said, you're better off asking for it and not getting it than not asking for it and then wish you had asked for it.
When will the funding be?
It will be next year before we get any money at all.
I mean,
but,
be announced.
December?
It's the end of the year, before the end of the
It's
year.
December.
November, December, we'll know for sure if we got it and how much we got, yeah. But the grant right now is listed as $1 million grant, is what we're listed it as.
Anything else? Good. Okay, I've got one thing I'd like to ask. I'd like to ask a motion to give us permission to terminate our contract with the VC3, the company that does the...
I'll make a motion.
Is that the computer people?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were having trouble with it the other day. I don't know what it's done.
I
Well,
will make that motion
we've
to
had trouble all the way
terminate
up
that
to
contract.
Lexington.
I'll do that, make a motion to terminate that contract with VC3.
I'll
You
second.
have a
Do we have
motion and a
somebody take their
second.
place?
No, but we'll.
Find somebody.
We've been doing it without them for all these years.
Oh,
But I still want to get something done today. But we do have a motion and a second for any further discussion. Those in favor signify with aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Tell Amy she owes me 3 more years. Travis, you can,
I don't.
Chip, Mike?
Yes, it's something I'd like to present to you all. With the department are looking at switching to weapon mounted optics, which is no more than a red, like a optic on there that's red, but I'll just read you a few benefits: faster target acquisition, better accuracy, improving performance under stress, increasing officers' confidence, and lowering liability for the department. It's something that we would like to consider doing. I think we still have money in our budget to do that. And to do what we need to do is $3,841.20.
How much?
$3,841.20.
Yeah, Mike talked to me about that.
New slides on doing and getting them. We'll use our weapons that we have. We don't have to buy new duty weapons.
Yeah, Mike talked to me about that, and I told him that I think that's a great idea, so I would make a motion to amend the budget to codes.
We don't have to amend budget to get money in
Okay,
there.
I thought maybe you had to move some codes around. Okay, got it, wow.
Second then.
We have a motion second for the purchase. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Quick question, I'm just curious now, will that get us more points with the, when they do the,
Haven't talked to them about it.
I was just curious.
Well, I'll find out.
I knew that's something you had been working on, and I didn't know if that was one of those.
But I think it'll be a lot, especially our new officers, I think it'll really help them a lot. And our new officer, by the way, left, I believe he likes, after this week, about 3.5 weeks.
Got you.
Yeah, like June 18th or 19th, isn't it, the graduation?
Yeah, sometime it's June, that's the third week, I think, that's on Wednesday, I think.
David?
Uh-oh, he's got a book.
No.
You can thank the Board of Code Enforcement for this one. The chairman of Code Enforcement couldn't be here today, so he asked me that I would bring this and present it to you all.
Thank you.
His letter there on the front just states, Code Enforcement Board would propose 902 KAR 1520 titled Recreation Vehicles for adoption into the city ordinance or present or future recreational vehicle parks. What it boils down to, what he's got here is what the state guidelines are for RV parks, as far as sanitation, their lighting, what they have to have, what they don't have to have. Everything he's got listed is just what the state regs are. So if the commission decides to go a little bit stricter on anything, then of course you can do that, you just can't go more lax. Looking through it, the only thing I see that should be added is wherever the trash collection is, that there should be some type of fence put up around it. All they state, the state reg is that they have to have so many containers per spot. My recommendation would be if we move this into an ordinance to have a collection point for the trash that is fenced in and blocked off, especially with the park being closed, and not lose trash going over to the park. With where this come up is where the new RV park's going in, we got to look in, and there was nothing in the city ordinances on RV parks. They already have to follow all that's in here because of the state regs, but we have nothing to fall back onto. If that park becomes an issue, we have to deal with it in code enforcement. We've got no teeth in the game, I guess you could say. We have nothing to go back on and say, listen, this is what the city ordinances say you can and cannot do. So we would just ask that the city would look over those as a recommendation and maybe adopt them into the ordinances.
And you could also say it's in compliance with what the state
Correct.
requires also.
So, where'd y'all get these?
Right now, I'm not sure. It should be directly off, it should be there on the first page.
Well, I know it says what, KRS,
Yeah, it's got a number, it's KRS something.
but I had
Yes,
a,
chapter 13, B211.
I had a conversation with one that's getting ready to open down here, and they run into a little snag on sewer. I don't understand, it says, this right here says if you can have a dump station for one per.
There's just something to do with the bathhouse though. And it has to be, so many units you have to have a bathhouse, but there's also different regulations on whether you're a temporary, a permanent, or there's another term for another one. There's like 3 different levels of RV parks. Whether it's overnight, under 14 days, under 6 months, and then 355 days, I think is what the other one is. So there is some different regulations on that. I'm not real sure why they were told they have to have a bathhouse. I've not seen in my research where they're.
Well, I haven't either, but they've told them they either have a bathhouse or they're gonna put sewer into each individual unit.
Who told
What I
them
have
that?
seen from the sewer
Oh.
is there has to be at least one main collection point, but
That's,
it has to be piped directly into the city sewer. Now, if
and
you
that's
get-
what they were planning.
Yeah, and if you get to X amount of units, then you have to have sewer at every individual spot and have to have a bathhouse.
Has the state given them documentations?
I don't know, I haven't had a chance
I
to
don't
get
know
more
that they were
information.
exactly with the state on that one. I think that was more of the health department.
Yeah, the health department's
what's kind of
Oh,
holding them
sorry.
up, so I'm not real sure. Because it's in section 6 is the community sewage and waste disposal.
yeah, and it says, except for self-contained recreational vehicle communities, each community shall have, provide at least one sanitary station. And if there's more than 75, you have to have one per 75,
Yep.
and which is what they were planning to do, because there are only 20 units down there.
Yeah, they're not gonna have, they can't fit 75 in.
No.
And nowhere have I seen it here about a bathhouse. Well, I guess the community service building.
Yeah, that would be, that's what they consider a bathhouse. We call it bathhouse, but.
But I'm wondering why, I thought they were gonna be a self-contained recreational vehicle, because my understanding, tent camping is not gonna be allowed.
Right. From my understanding, yeah. Because if they had any tent camping spots at all, then they would have to have
Right.
a bathhouse.
I was just curious, I wanted to make sure these were the most up-to-date.
As far as I'm aware, they are. These are the ones that we reviewed in our meeting and kind of went over and looked at, and these were the ones that he brought up. And everything I see was 75 units or more, had to have individual spot, or individual sewer per spot. So I'm not real sure what's going on with there with the health department. I've been in on those conversations, so I'm not real sure where they're at on
Okay.
it. That is the.
Does anybody have any questions?
We go ahead and adopt it tonight, you think?
We have to do 2 readings.
Well, make a motion, we do the first reading of this code enforcement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor, signify with aye. Opposed, same. Motion passes. Now,
The new fire truck should be here, should be ready for inspection in about 2 weeks. What they told me yesterday. We're finishing up, putting all the equipment,
And it's coming from where?
Corbin.
Come back and get it.
And I think I've got one more thing that I thought Travis might talk about, but if you want to take the guest first.
right? Just here for the visit. Ms. Drake?
Well, I was just checking to see if y'all were still interested in buying the house. I'd come down on it and you just give me a price. If you can give me a price, I just need to get rid of it. I can't fix it up. And I know it's a sore eye, but I want to say this. It's not the only house in this town that's got a sore eye.
No, I know that. You're absolutely
You
right
know,
about
there's
that.
places around where I live that don't even have windows. And I don't say nothing because I don't want them coming down on me, which that I mentioned something before to him, and they came down on me about it. And, you know, it don't even have windows and people live in it. They let the bushes grow up so they can't see. And that's pretty bad. And, you know, and I only lowered that up to keep the people out from going in there.
Yeah, I knew you said that the other night, you were having trouble
Yeah,
with people
well,
going
you
in.
know, y'all set me a price, if you're interested in it, set me a price, and hey, it goes, and let it go. I don't need it. And I
Okay.
know that you all always having a lot of things going on down here at the city, and there needs a lot of parking place. I know with this, that you all have every year for the children, well, that man, when he sets all that up, he gets mad, cause I won't let him come in my yard, and I tell him, nope. Nope, you ain't gonna turn around in here, nope.
I understand and don't blame you.
Well, because, hey, people say, hey, won't you charge people for parking? I'm not interested in that. You know, you get down here and people fall on your property and get hurt, sue you. No, I ain't messing with that. I don't need it.
Okay, I tell you what, we'll finalize everything, and we'll have you an answer in 2 weeks. How's that?
Well, that sounds great to me.
Is that fair enough?
I'm gonna be praying and I get the answer that I need. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Thank you, Debbie.
Well, something that I might ask you all, if maybe have Jill send me your email addresses. I'm talking about this on behalf of the Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if you all are familiar, we're gonna have a big capital campaign coming up here pretty soon. And we have I think it's a quarterly newsletter they put out, and they were just wanting email addresses for people that are interested parties. And if you all are cool with it, if you could send me their email address, we put on there and make sure you all can see what's going on, because it's gonna be big.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
The emails are part of the public domain, they're public record.
Are they on the, I just.
Have they been, I don't know if they've been, if it's been updated or not, because we've had trouble with PC3.
Anyway,
She can get it to you.
Yeah, just shoot me a list of them and then we'll work it out.
Ray back there?
He said he
He
did.
said,
Okay.
there's just, well, you know me and Oldham Park.
Get out of your way.
Oh, no, I know what you're gonna talk about.
Well, you know, Travis and I talked a little bit about even just painting the buildings, if they can't come down. Whatever can come down, bring it down. If it can't come down right now because of cost involved, give it a nice color. I had mentioned graffiti, you know, tasteful graffiti. But these colors are so pretty here, I don't know that I would, you know, even want to entertain. Have you seen these? Travis picked them up. And then also I knew that there were some buildings up at the cemetery, and I didn't know if they had been painted
They
yet
were
or
just painted
not.
back in the fall.
They were painted? I hadn't been up there for a while, so.
Oh, yeah, I dealt with
So
that last
could,
fall.
could we maybe, whatever can't come down, could we paint it a nice color other than that terrible blue?
Unless you
Is
paint it black, I'm not sure. All the paint's put on it, they put white on it then, but I'm not sure you're not giving them a fresh background.
And,
I mean, I
You
need the
know.
paint job, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
you're right.
yeah,
But how long would it be for they take that fresh background and have new graffiti up?
and that's not something that I would be opposed to if you get the true graffiti artist
Yeah.
involved in it,
That's-
you
they're-
know?
They're the key.
And, you know, not about us without us. I feel like you would have to get people that are interested in it, because there are some very tasteful graffiti type things in larger cities.
Because earlier in the year, I'd say art department school might take that, but till late in the year, they don't have time to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, could we try at least painting? See what happens?
I don't care, paint them.
Anything's gotta look better than what's there. Am I the only one? I mean, I'm not, my feelings won't get hurt if y'all think this is the dumbest idea ever.
No, I would love for it to be down, but it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to get it down. It
Yeah, the
just-
one building you said probably we could.
That little shed, there's not really anything to it. It's just
a frame.
a frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even, like, so the two-story one, even if it could just be more aesthetically pleasing, instead of driving by there and be like, "Grrr, that thing looks hideous."
Y'all pick out a color and we can paint it.
I don't care if you paint it purple, just get it all cleaned up.
Well, here's some nice shades of gray. I mean, opinions, you said black.
Oh, I just,
I'm not opposed.
I saw the cards there.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to
I
black.
don't know if I'd like black or not.
No, you want something lighter than that.
Yeah, I like this one, it's called Storms A-Comin'. That one's nice, Gray Shadows is nice. Kevin, you're over the parks.
Look, if you're gonna put graffiti on it, it doesn't really matter what you
And
start
maybe we're
with.
not, you know,
No.
maybe that's, and maybe, that might be something that's just a thought, I've just tried to think outside the box,
which
something
color
that
did
we
you
could do to improve the looks of Oldham Park. Let's see, storms are coming,
Well,
I would think the darker you go, the less likely you are to have
elephant gray.
a lot of graffiti on it.
What color roof would we want? We talked about putting a metal roof on top of it.
What color roof's on there now?
It's shingles.
Do we have to do anything to it? Do we have to do anything to the roof?
Well, we talked about
What does
sprucing
it
it
look
up.
like? The roof, I haven't paid that much attention, the buildings,
It's about the
I'll
same
get
as the
mine.
buildings.
Yeah.
I just hate to spend the paint's not a lot of money, I just hate to spend a lot of money on something that
Well, let's
It
get the
wouldn't be
paint,
very
then
we don't know
we'll
what
see about
to do
the
with yet.
roof. If
Get
it's
the
not
paint.
leaking, let's just do the paint, then see about the roof.
yeah. And
Just
y'all,
pick one of them out, or storms are coming, you like it?
well, that might be too light. Elephant gray, do you think it's too dark?
I wouldn't think so.
You don't want it too awful dark, you still won't be able to see it in the dust.
Pass these down,
Well-
guys, and y'all look at them and see what you
I
think.
just thinking the darker you have, the less likely you are, because most of the graffiti is generally brighter, painted with brighter colors and stuff.
Yeah.
It won't show up good on the dark, like a
I
white
think
roof.
everything battleship gray, so I don't know.
And I mean, I don't care to get the word out to some of the guys saying, hey, look, we're trying to improve this down here. We need y'all to work with us, and
She's talking about this one, elephant gray or storms are coming?
Which one's storms are coming?
storms are coming might be too light.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, right there.
That is pretty light.
Well, one of these darker, like roller coaster on down, or Eiffel Tower on down, somewhere in there.
Anything's gonna look better than what it is right now.
I don't care, do you?
Again, I'm fine, I just don't want it to look, you know, I'd hate for somebody to paint it and then I have to turn around 2 days later, somebody out there painting all kinds of stuff on it, because I'm afraid that's what will happen.
And it could, you know, it could.
Is there a lot of graffiti painted on it right now?
No.
Mm-mm.
That's kind of surprising, to be honest with
There's
you.
been there for a while,
It has been.
long while.
Mhm.
So maybe
I
they
think Paul
3,
Wright is
4
darker.
years, 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
I think the
Slate
darker they'd be
pebble,
less likely
elephant
to
gray,
Put any
Paul,
fresh graffiti up.
you're,
I've seen
you're
them.
good at things like that.
I would go with that one.
Yeah, that's looked good.
The elephant gray,
I was doing it.
Is that what we had up there, with purple?
No.
Okay.
no,
Just checking.
no, it doesn't, this doesn't have a purple undertone at all.
That was supposed to be green.
It's supposed to be what?
That was supposed to be greenish gray up there, and it came purple.
Where is that?
That accent wall up there at City Hall.
Oh,
Oh, gotcha,
That's what I
gotcha.
call it, the accent wall.
Think she picked
So-
that color, be sure.
Ele-
Do we have any kind of a time frame when that one could come down and might get the other painted?
Soon.
Okay, and Dustin, Kevin's over Parks, and so I don't wanna get in his lane or step on his toes or anything, but I don't care to talk publicly like, hey, guys, you know, we're trying to do a good thing for you here, we're trying to improve this. I don't care to speak to people or whatever needs to be done, work with us, you know, if you
You're
need
doing
to,
it right now. So,
thank you.
And if we advertise, we just now painted it, somebody might do it just for spite, so we might just paint it, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Might nothing happen, that'd be great if nothing
just
happened.
buy a little extra paint.
Yeah.
exactly.
When I had a church in the inner city, the only way we could get the graffiti to slow down or even stop was to take care of it. I don't know, like, we had to go every week, because they had to paint the cuss words off the front of my
Yeah.
children's church every week.
Yeah.
So, and then they eventually got tired of putting it up there.
And it could be eventually that we do some type of mural or graffiti, or I don't know if y'all are in Louisville very often or not, but there's some very nice work in cities like that, and it's probably just graffiti artists that actually do that. So I'll probably sound like a crazy lady, but I just want it to look better when I drive by there. Just want it to look better. And I want it to be something that we can be proud of, like we are of the other park. Because that was the park of our childhood.
thanks for everything else. Entertain a motion on the closed session
You
So
want to
maybe-
do a closed session?
to
Second.
discuss litigation.